Hey, welcome to Cheaper Jeeper TV. I'm Dino, your host. Glad to see you here. I know I got a bit of explaining to do. You may have a few questions. Maybe I have a few answers in this episode as to why I bought a 2024 Jeep Wrangler JL Rubicon X. Stick around. Now, for those of you who are not new to the channel, you'll remember in this video here how I explained why I sold my Jeep Wrangler JL Sahara. And you can go to that episode if you want to know the details, but suffice it to say, after all of that, I now have a brand new 2024 Jeep Wrangler JL. It's a little bit chilly out here, so let's step inside the studio and I'll try to answer a few questions. Okay, let's just get to this. After I sold my Jeep, as I explained in this video, I went and got myself a Honda Ridgeline pickup truck, and my wife and I still went off and did some camping. I still visited my friends over at Overland North, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't the same. There's nothing wrong with the Honda Ridgeline. That pickup truck had ample storage space. It was very convenient when we went camping, but it just didn't scream adventure. And I still had plans to do similar trips to the Cape Breton trip that we did, and that was so much fun, and the kind of scenery that the Jeep brought us to see was so exciting. And the Gaspé Peninsula trip, for example. Now, those trips were the kind of trips that I'd like to do more of, and after doing some camping and everything with the Ridgeline, it just didn't feel like it was the right vehicle. Now, I did explain in this video here the problem with the corrosion in the Jeep Wranglers, and there's a lot of information on that now online. There's whole Facebook groups dedicated to it, like you can see here. I'll have a link to that Facebook group in the description section, and there's still a significant amount of misinformation about that whole corrosion issue. Some people focus on it being mostly a hinge corrosion issue on Jeep Wranglers, where on the JL, it is way more than that. It occurs on the leading edges of door panels, hoods, windshield frames, tailgates. So it is more than just a hinge issue, and a lot of people think that the hinges are steel, they're aluminum. So that issue hasn't gone away as far as I'm aware. And it could have considered a Bronco or a 4Runner, but after having owned the Jeep Wrangler, I really did enjoy a lot of aspects about it. And I thought about it a little more, and I thought, well, with the 2024 Jeep Wrangler JL models out now, with some of the improvements to the infotainment system, to the side curtain airbags, and also with the new floating axles that increase your towing capacity from 3,500 pounds to 5,000 pounds, I kind of thought to myself, why don't I check it out? But I thought, as far as corrosion is concerned, if it occurs while it's under the warranty, I'll get it repaired. And then when I'm beyond warranty, I'm going to have to make a decision. Do I just trade it in and get another one or something else? Or if I love the Jeep so much, do I just hang on to it and let things happen the way they may and decide maybe there's a solution at that time? And I was just really missing the Jeep and the kind of adventures that I explained I was doing and I still wanted to do. So I decided, okay, it's time to look at the 2024 Jeep Wrangler JL. And then the problem came. I knew that I wanted to have the 3.6 liter Pentastar because for me that engine performed flawlessly with the 8-speed automatic ZF transmission, because that combination was absolutely fantastic from my experience. I made mention of that when I did the 100,000 kilometer and the 100,000 mile review videos. You can check those videos out because you'll see that mostly the reviews were quite favorable. So at the time that I was looking to purchase a 2024 Jeep Wrangler JL, the Jeeps that had the Pentastar with available automatic was essentially the Rubicon, because if you wanted the Pentastar engine with the other Jeeps, it had to come with the 6-speed manual, which was kind of weird, but I decided actually a Rubicon is kind of like what I'd like to get anyway. Now, I have learned since then that they've changed that and you can get the Pentastar with an automatic on those other models, but in the lots at the time were the initial 2024s, and the only ones that had the Pentastar engine with the automatic were the Rubicons. Now, I did mention in those review videos that the early JLs had a steering wandering issue, and they did come out with a steering box technical service bulletin repair, and if you're not out of warranty, they would switch out the aluminum to a steel steering box. But people on the forums even said even after that they still had a bit of wandering in the steering. So I thought to myself, this time I'm going to go and I'm going to test drive what's on the lot and determine if the steering is improved in any way. So I test drove a stock Rubicon. I test drove stock Rubicon that had the Extreme Recon package, that's with the 35-inch tires. And then I also test drove a Rubicon X, which has all the other options. And what I found was the stock Rubicon drove fantastically. It just stuck to the road, it tracked nice and straight. I could take it on the highway, take my hands off the wheel, and it would track straight. The steering was really tight. You could throw it around and not feel a loss of control. It didn't lean very much at all. I was thoroughly impressed with the steering and handling capabilities of the 2024 stock Rubicon. Maybe it has to do with the new axles that they put on, but all of those attributes and the changes and everything that come with the 2024 Rubicon and Rubicon X, I will do in a follow-up video, but I'm just explaining to you about the test driving I did right now. Then I went and test drove a stock Rubicon, but it had the Extreme Recon package, the 35-inch tires, and it still had very tight steering. But you felt that you had the 35-inch tires. It wasn't as tight on the road as the stock Rubicon did, but it was still an improvement over the early JLs. But the problem came in that the seats in the stock Rubicon were a cloth fabric, and they didn't seem to have a lot of padding, and I didn't find them very comfortable. And then when I had a look at a stock Rubicon X, I found that that came standard with the leather seats, and the padding in the seat seemed different. It was much more comfortable. And I did entertain still going to a stock Rubicon and getting an aftermarket leather seat covering put on it like cat skin, but I couldn't confirm that it came with any extra padding. From my research, it didn't seem like there would be, and so without really knowing if I spent the money on getting the cat skin leather seats, if it would still be as comfortable as the stock leather seats that come with the Rubicon X, I found myself having a little bit of a quandary there. So when I looked at the Rubicon X, it had all the options that I wanted, including the Mopar steel bumpers. I really wanted that, as well as the 35-inch tires. And when I looked at reviews online, most of the people were saying if you were going to option out a Jeep with those things, it's worth getting the Rubicon X because it's slightly cheaper, or so they say. And so I made sure to test drive the one that I wanted to purchase, and I was super happy with how it handled. The new infotainment screen with the Uconnect 5 was exceptional. A lot of the features on it I'll cover in a subsequent video, but the long and the short of it is, after all that, yes, I decided I'm going to go ahead and get it, and I'm going to get back to making more Jeep videos for my YouTube channel. Now, just a quick run through on some of the videos that are coming down the pipe, so that if you're interested, you'll make sure that you are subscribed and you hit the alert bell so that you won't miss them when they come out. Are the kinds of things that I looked at when I was purchasing the new Jeep Wrangler JL, and that comes from my experience of having owned a 2018 JL for a few years. I'll be sharing some plans I have with kitting out the Jeep for some more overlanding and camping, because now that I have a new Jeep, I'm going to kind of tweak the way I had the Jeep set up. So if you like my videos about the sleeping camping platform and the rear cargo shelf and those kinds of things, there's going to be some improvements to the layout. So if you're interested, make sure you watch for those videos. And another video I'm really looking forward to making is the 10 helpful pre-maintenance maintenance items for your Jeep. And I am going to do another video down the road about the corrosion issue, just to give you an update on what's going on there and some things I'm hearing about the warranty. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be interested in that. So I'm hoping that you're interested in all that. And if you are, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up. Also, please make sure to share this video with people you know that are going to be interested in this content, and I'm really looking forward to putting out some more of the videos. Now, should you be on the fence and be thinking of getting yourself a new Jeep Wrangler JL, with December coming, I don't want to wait for that video to come out in a couple weeks. I'll include a few important tips in the tip segment of this video. Now for some cheaper Jeeper tips. So when it came time to purchase the Jeep, I utilized the information that I shared in this video here. Now, in the States, you can find on the JL Wrangler forums the invoice pricing, and people are sharing where they're getting their Jeeps at invoice and that sort of thing. And I did that as well in 2018 for my Canadian Jeep Wrangler JL Sahara. But it is harder to find sometimes the invoice information for the Canadian dealership. But in that video, I also shared how it essentially equates to about 10% off MSRP and utilizing the end of the month strategy. So it worked out for me. I'm really happy with it. And a special shout out to the good people at Levins Chrysler in London, Ontario, because they were very willing to work with me on the purchase, and I felt very satisfied with how things came out. Okay, that's it for this week's episode of Cheaper Jeeper TV. I'm pretty excited to be back making Jeep specific videos. I hope you are too. So until the next time, I'm Dino for Cheaper Jeeper TV. Be well, stay safe, take care.